Alright guys, good morning, what's up? I do apologize for this late start, but today it could not be helped. But here we are, better late than never. So it's 26, we got about 4 minutes to the opening bell, and there's one stock in particular that I'm looking at here, INVO. I think this one stands the best chance, what I'll be looking for in terms of quick moves and upside potential, limited downside risk. Now, the only bad thing today is that there's only, I'd say, one stock. We don't really have that much else going on. There's some cheaper ones, AULT and then LMDX. LMDX higher float doesn't really look, super good. So yeah, one stock really. So today, I think taking it slow might be the best approach, and maybe we get something later into the day similar to what we saw Friday potentially, whether it's like 11:30 or maybe 12. But I think just not overdoing it here early. I did want to size up today, but you know I'm still willing to do that, but we kind of need something like very good. If this one happens to be good, then I'll size up immediately. But other than that, I think I'll just stick to moderate size and go from there. Anyhow, so with that being said, a couple of levels here for INVO. As a 2-minute warning is going off. By the way, let me turn on the screen recording before I forget. Let's go ahead and do that. All right, looks good. So yeah, we got highs around 165. If you guys check out the daily chart, I think this one had a split. I believe there's a split. Let me see. I think so. INVO. Or maybe not. But anyhows, yeah. So let's see here on the daily. There's 411 and then 665 as potential levels. In the short term, we had that drop off going back to August 4th, maybe 230, a potential level, 230 as we're going up. There was a split a few weeks ago though on the 28th. I think that's why these trend lines that I have are a little out of place. But one of them we do have the pre-market low in there, so that's all right. I'm gonna put this one up here to 725, the 200 EMA. All right, looks good. Looks decent. 111 for the lows. We got highs of 166. Let's see what this one does. Guys, remember, right? As AMC is hitting the scans, remember the risks of trading, all right? Remember to take it slow. Do not come into the market guns a-blazing, all right? Take it easy. Utilize the simulators, utilize risk money, and go slowly over time. If you're a beginner or even if you've been around, you're not quite as consistent as you need to be. Other than that, be careful of the fake Relentless Trader accounts. A lot of fake accounts out there, people pretending to be me. I will never ask for money or personal information. So low 47, high of 55, and this thing seems to be very volatile here. Oh, my order is just floating. Again. Oh, hi. What's going on with Thinkorswim? Am I going to be holding shares? Yeah, it seems like Thinkorswim is having some issues, but it's a nice move up into the halt. This is a bit of a problem though. Let me see how the fills are looking. Man. I'm thinking, do I want to deal with the headache of having to call them and all this stuff, or do I. But to not trade a stock like this, it's just like a crime. Just, come on. So hopefully after the resumption, we don't have any issues. It's been a while since we saw a lag in the first minute like that. It's been a thing in the past, but the last like maybe like 8, 10 months, haven't really experienced it. LMDX higher float, not really getting to break high day. Think I'll ease off there. That seller's walking down. So resumption time. Again, for me, I have room all the way to 230 here. We got halted at 31.25. So at 36.25, assuming it's a 5 minute. Gotta just go in and out one block on these cheaper stocks. They pull back a decent amount off the highs, but I guess that's to be expected. So still waiting. Time 34:55. LMDX is actually giving a nice push there though. So that dip down at 33 held up and it's curled up some more. Like I like this pullback here. Although I gotta make sure I don't like overlap and miss the resumption, but I want to give it a chance to curl up here a little bit. And can we eventually see the new high? The resumption, let's see, 36.25, so there's a couple more seconds. All right. I haven't been doing exceptionally well on the resumptions, but let's see how this goes. We got 10 seconds. As usual, no fear, no hesitation. We're halted up at 167. 5 seconds. Showing 177. Okay, decent. Not Titanic. Good. Now can we see the new high? 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 There it is. I took the trade high, but it worked out well. Great fill. Can we chase down the halt level? I'm gonna sell it a little early. 94 for the halt up. 94 might get extended. Oh, the other stock sold off. The cheaper one. There's 94, but not quite holding up in the level. There's 98 now. I'd like to see the halt up at this point. Can we see another halt up? Of course I got filled high. Worth the shot though. Tried for 84. Hmm. Halt is at $2. Can we get halted up here? It seems pretty active. So we're gonna need a lot of big buyers. Let's say big buyers, big bids. 202 for the halt up now. If it doesn't get halted up, I'll expect a huge drop at some point. We can't hang out up here forever without getting halted up. There's O2. Can we see it get locked in here? Big bids are coming in. Big bids are coming in. 50,000, 30,000, 20,000, 20,000. Different market makers. There it is. We're locked in. INVO. So, what should we expect here, right? What should we expect here? I'm seeing there's a buyer 123 at 65. It's pretty low. It's showing 205, 212. Depending on how we resume here, I mean, we could see a pullback first. Maybe it goes higher. It's going to come down to that initial price action on the resumption. Because sometimes they'll open and you see that hesitation then leading into red and sellers coming in for profit taking or maybe shorts, whatever. And other times, the moment it opens up, there's just like aggressive buying and it flies up. The last resumption, well, the last move up, let's say on the resumption, I bought the dip early the first time. So I got to be careful here this time. when you trade paper, you're trading better than you do with real money? Well, it's probably because you're trading freely, and when you go live, you're maybe overthinking it, and the emotions are getting in the way. That also happens to people when they increase share size. A lot of the times it seems like you're doing nothing different, but subconsciously you're selling the trade faster, you're taking longer to sell the loser, and that alone changes the strategy so much that before you know it, where you should have been green or maybe even small red, you're big red or not green at all. So you really have to trade the exact same way when you transition from the simulator to the live account. The same type of entries, the same exits, the same speed. Of course, TPST needs to, you know, as per usual, these last week and a half, has to give a small move from 450 to 533 so far today. TPST, not bad, but I don't know if it's the kind of stock I'll be watching at. But just a heads up in case anybody does not know it's moving. Resumption at 45.01, assuming it's a 5 minute. So on this resumption, a big part of what I'm trying to do is protect the profits, um, and also add to it if I can. So, I have moderate share size, but if we see a really clean setup, I don't mind, you know, sizing up some more. But I do want to be careful here, not, have too many losing trades. So we got to try and be accurate, and we got moderate size. If we do end up losing, we don't lose a ton. Longevity here today. Don't want to wipe myself out and have huge swings. Sometimes that stuff can be stressful mentally. Green 1K flat, green 1K, green 2K flat. I mean, it's a lot of mental strain at times. It's showing me 205, 210, 212. So I'm guessing like 210 maybe. It's still fluctuating, but it doesn't seem like it's going to open lower though. So far, that could change. Of course, make sure to have a plan. Always have a risk in place for anybody watching at it. Some people may be on the sidelines because they might think it's too high, which is a fair thought, to be honest. But I'll be watching here. This is the second halt up. I trade this usually, so watching here to see. We got about less than 30 seconds. Halted at 202. What will it be? Here we go. It doesn't want to dip. How far is it gonna go? Can we see the next halt? No, it's struggling. Should have ripped through 12. Then down 190, not good. So halting down. From looking decent like that, it's just immediately crashing down. Resuming at 7 area, pushing up to 10 to 11, dropping back to about 5, 4, 3, not really dropping below $2. So that was a good sign for me to get in. But going up, not going over 12, 13 when we got back to that level. We should have ripped through 13 right there. It looks like some of the Discord members got caught there. But we'll see how the dip does. It could be good. But I also want to be careful of the backside. And so maybe I size down a little more just to be safe. TPST, pulling back a bit. Lmdx, cheaper stock. By the way, I never put out a watch list. I'll put it out right now. That's what happens when you're late. Not good. AULT isn't really looking good anymore. Let's see. Is it AULT? Just so we can have a reference for this day if we're ever coming back to backtest stocks. At least these are the few that were moving around this time. The lag might have thrown a lot of people off at Thinkorswim, so that's also a thing to keep in mind in the beginning. It worked out in my favor. I would have gotten back in. I think I would have gotten back in because that was the plan. Whether I would have missed the trade or not, I don't know. But the plan was for me to get back in that area. But the shares weren't filling, so I thought it best not to try and buy again or just wait. I thought the first entry where it was lagging was a fluke, so I'm like, I'm gonna just get back in. But it was also lagging getting out. I think in around like 58 or something, and it filled me the bulk of the position in the halt, or as we were halting, let's say. So 50 and 42 seconds. 50 and 42 seconds. Of course, here in the East Coast, it's 9 a.m. It's 9:48. So it's 9:50 and 42 seconds. Some of you guys are in different time zones. So I tend not to say, that first number there. But for everybody, 52, well, let's say 50 and 42 seconds. Some of you guys are in Europe. Some of you guys, Australia, maybe, Asia, West Coast here in the States, where it's actually 6:49 a.m., which is crazy. There's a guy in Discord who I think was trading from I think it was Taiwan, and it was like midnight or something, or like 3 a.m. It's crazy stuff. But wherever you are, you can do it if your schedule is making sense. So for those of you tuning in on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, guys, hit that thumbs up. If you're on Facebook, be sure to follow the channel, follow the page. Something to quickly mention, guys, be careful out there once again, right? As we have more people tuning in, there's a lot of fake accounts, right? There's a lot of fake Relentless Trader accounts, and there's people out there in general who are stealing videos and stealing my videos and trying to use it as their own. And it's fraudulent, so just be careful of these things. I don't use Telegram or WhatsApp. I never will do mirror trading, copy trading. I do not invest money for my subscribers. So be safe, be careful. I know I say it a ton. The people here every day probably will think, why does this guy keep saying it? But just for the people who, might be passing through or, coming back after a long time, things like that. We're cutting the chatter. Here we go. 190. What will it be? 76. Yeah, I should have took that trade. Entry 77. We'll give another chance. If it holds up 77, it could get halted up. Potentially 96 of that halt up. Do we mean business? selling, fair amount of selling there. Good attempt and effort though. Tight stops here for me. Does it want to get back to 85.90? Do we? It's trying. We might see 95 here, potentially. Can we see another quick entry though? Or are we going to hold super high? 85. Actually, there's a seller there. 40,000 or so. Not a ton. I'll ease off here. I'll wait. The entry was down at like 76, 75, so I can't really be trying to force too many trades here. So close to the halt up, which is at 98 now. It needs to push through. It needs to go. We don't want to be lingering here too long. 96, 97, 98. Okay, there it is. Can we get locked in? You see that trade, that the entry I took right there, I'm not really supposed to sell it. So, I'm just like taking quick profits. But I could technically from that entry still be holding into this halt up. But I was taking the 8 cents or whatever it was to then buy back again if we could have had another entry somewhere. But it looks like it's just going to be one straight, one move straight up. We'll see how it does on the resumption. Yeah, it's a good red to green. Right here, we'd hope it can retake the highs. Maybe let's say we resume at 204, 203, and we can go up to 212 again, and this time maybe push through 220. That would be ideal. But, we'll see what it does. There's no telling, there's no guarantee. There's always risk, and there's always reward on the other side. Once again, guys, don't forget to hit the thumbs up. Watching on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch. Tim in there with 3K shares. Spartan sold at 97. Ken is in as well with 1.5K. It's so rare for me to hold into a halt. It happens, but not really a lot. But again, if you're holding 175, like it doesn't matter what it does, you're gonna still more than likely be good. What are the odds this opens up at like 120? Near impossible. Less than 1% chance. What's likely to happen is it opens up somewhere around here. Even if it's a little weak, you're holding the low 177, whatever, you can still get out with good gains. But buying into the halt level, which I don't know if anybody is doing, is a little bit more risky, of course, in case we do open up lower. So 58.37. It's showing 207, which could be good. Let me make sure to prep orders and be ready. Time 56:34. So 58.37. We got about 2 minutes. Hit that thumbs up, guys. Hit that thumbs up as you're tuning in on YouTube. Let's see, how many people do we have? We did start the live stream a little late. We have over 400 people, guys. Let's get up there to 200 likes. 200 likes. Hit that thumbs up. We do appreciate it big time. It helps out the channel tremendously, and it's always good to know that the people are enjoying the live stream. You know, shout out to the guys like KT who are here every day. You know, Ricardo, Brad, JP, Jared, Mobile's in the building. You know, we got to show the live stream some love from time to time. I can't, you know, only show the students love, right? I've been showing the students all the love. So, resumption coming up. 58.37. You know, I'm thinking we could get the high if they move here. So I'm wondering if I want to beef it up a little bit to capture a sweet trade in there. Short sellers could be getting caught off guard here, potentially. Not always the case, but potentially. We got about 20 seconds. As usual, no fear, no hesitation. $198, 10 seconds to go. What will it be? It's showing 206, 205. Okay. A little high right there, but all right. Great fill. 15. Boy, that was close. Got a good fill there. All right, let's size down a bit. 20. 22 for the halt up. 22. There's 22. Will it get locked in? We're seeing big bids. Might get locked in here. Oh. That tells me some people have huge size. Somebody sold like 40,000 shares like that. But buyers came back in. Yeah, there's a few people trading this stock that are like in 50, 70,000 shares. You know, versus somebody like me, like 2,000, 3,000, which is, you know, might be a lot to some people, but to others, you know, yeah. So the traders are aggressive on the dips. We're seeing good price action. I will watch this resumption as well, but I think I'll watch it with a little bit reduced size. We are getting to be on the extended side here, but this is the second halt up again on this new red to green. So give it a chance here. If it gets halted up again after this, I'll ease off a bit. Again, we still want to protect the gains we have and not overdo it. Because whilst you can always make more money, you can definitely lose money too. And, you know, you got to ask yourself what you're most comfortable with. Everyone is different. $25 shares into the halt. S. Lee. Justin, a swing trader, getting involved with a day trade here and getting a nice trade. Way to go, man. EC holding 5K into the halt. Aggressive position there. The question for this type of stocks is always the same, you know, how far are we going to go? No one really knows. this can potentially go to 250, $3, or maybe this is the high for today or for this, let's say, time frame. We don't really know. So, again, guys, be sure to manage risk. For those people who might be on the sidelines, don't give into any FOMO and buy the top. Don't do anything crazy like that. Let's just see what this thing does. Let's make sure to always have a plan. That way we can protect ourselves as best as possible. So at 0427, we should see resumption. I'm seeing potentially 24 or 33 for the resumption. This is the thing with the market too, is that you never know. I'm looking at this stock here earlier around 925, and it's like it looks okay, but the way how everything else is looking so like dry, it's like it's not encouraging. Like, hey, yeah, go aggressive right away. It's just the thing with the market, you just never know. It can be the slowest looking day and then you get something good. It can be a hot day and all the stocks sell off. Again, it's why we always have to have a plan and be disciplined towards sticking to it. So again, 0427. We got less than a minute. I'm seeing 225, 233. I'm seeing 250, but probably 233. 250 seems to be holding strong, so maybe it resumes it pretty high. All right. Okay. Less than 30 seconds. 20 seconds to go. 10 seconds. We're at 222. 5, 4, here we go. Not an immediate rip. Scratch trade. Decent for that bid there. I'm going to give it a chance. It's teleporting down. Huge spreads. Got to be careful in this area. 41. It's jumpy. It's pretty jumpy. 47 for the halt up. Uh, 28. 22. Down. Tried for 36, 37 there, thinking it would bounce right back to 40, 45, but not good. In at 37, out at 30. Is this the backside? Or is this another pullback that could potentially curl back up? I mean, the volume does look decent. The last rejection we had was 13 area. We had the first move up right here. This would be the second move up. So can we get another dip? And then a third move up? Is that possible? Only time will tell. I'm going to size down some more. And I'm going to keep watching. I'm going to come down in size. How are you guys doing in Discord? Let's see. Seems like there's some mixed reactions there after we had the drop. EC sold it open, Brad all out. Checking on the YouTube stream. Axlord, it will open up lower. The halt time. Yeah, so on the DAS here, I'll show the screen, right? On this screen, so I'm always looking up at this screen right here. Right here, it shows me if I come down right here, where it says LDLU, right? And we can come down a little lower right here. Trading pause at 10:05:44. So in exactly 5 minutes from that time, we'll see resumption. So at 10:10:44, that's how I'll see. Um, that's how I'll be able to tell, the resumption. We do stream the halt levels and halted stocks in general to the MMU members in Discord. If you guys want to check it out, you can. But yeah, that level 2 platform there is called DAS Trader Pro. The only bad thing about it, it's $150 a month. But to see the level 2 price action, to see the halt level there for myself, I personally do not like to rely on anybody else or anything if I can help it. So I pay for it. I think it's worth it, but it is expensive though. $150 a month, compared to like $15 or $20. It's kind of pricey, especially if you're now like starting out and you're like, having other responsibilities that's tying up cash. Your opinion on E-Trades level 2? Yeah, I used to use E-Trades level 2. It's not bad. It is a little on the slower side, and they do not show halt levels. But it's not bad. I used it for like 2 years and was profitable. The good thing about that is free. If you have like a balance of 1K in your E-Trade Pro account, you can have access to everything on their platform, including Bloomberg, which is a good service for market-wide news. But cutting the chatter, we have a couple seconds here, about 25 seconds or so to resumption. We're halted down at 17. What will it be? 14 seconds. 10, 5, here we go. I wanted to pull back and hold. Oh, see, that's too quick. That was too quick. Alright, maybe I leave it alone. Small bounce there, not bad. How's it going to continue to do? Tempting. Can we get one more quick pullback? Nope. It's going to jump to 20. See, I could have made money there, but it's a matter of not making up my mind quick enough. I want to take on the risk. You know, I did reduce size to kind of like jump in if I needed to, but still a little too cautious, which is not really great in that area there. But the first entry in the sequence is pretty important. When we break below 2, there was no in between. It just from red, from selling to just back at 04, just didn't really get a chance to buy. But a decent bounce. So again, you know, can we see a third pullback and then another move up? Are we going to be able to get back to high of day again here? Or is this just a bit of a relief bounce to then sell off? If the volume is high going up on this next resumption, you could probably see a retest. So I'm gonna watch. If I see what I like this time, I'm just gonna go for it. No fear, no hesitation. Robin, the last high and low, it's script. Message me in Discord and I'll send it to you. I ought to use the other one where it's like away from the chart. This does at times take up too much of the charts, which was the complaint from the start. Or let's say feedback that I had from other people. I got so used to it. One of the good things about this platform is that, you know, for those of you who are good with like software engineering and coding, you can write some scripts, you know, using logic. You know, it's pretty decent stuff. You know, Thinkorswim is not a bad platform, man. When this platform is working, you know, to its like capacity, I'd say it's the top broker. But there are days where it's like inconsistent, and then that's where you kind of run into the problem. So 16 and 49 seconds for resumption. Depending on how this halt goes, I might ease off completely and size down to like a very small share size. And you know, at that point, just look to lock it in. About a minute and 50 seconds to go. WBY is being mentioned. A bit of a lighter volume one, but pushed up a little bit. There are 420s. If this gets over high of day again, at that point, for me, it'll be like a top tier stock. Despite, of course, not going to like $10 or something, it still will be because to me, this is like the ultimate strength here. Pulling back not once, not twice, but you know, holding up those levels and retesting the highs. It's very good stuff. No, Thinkorswim is going to stay the same. There's been a lot of talks about how they're trying not to change a lot with the platform so that the transition is seamless. Now, being that Schwab is a different company, in the future they could allocate resources elsewhere. They could change things. That's possible. But for this short term, seems like we're good. But cutting the chatter, 10 seconds. We're at 222. Okay. See, it's doing the same thing again where it's showing but not ripping, right? So we gotta be careful. It might get halted up again. Yeah, I think I'm gonna ease off. It's a little tricky. Halt up is at 49. We're gonna see the halt up. Difficult price action there though, I think. Kind of just better to be in just holding. Halted up. Very good, very good. Very good, but very tricky. Not easy to trade up there. For me, it's showing certain areas, but then I'm in, and then it goes up 4 cents, and then it teleports back down. I don't like that type of stuff. It gets messy. Ken in at 27 out of 37. Lovely trade. Lovely trade indeed. Guys, don't forget to hit that thumbs up. Consider subscribing to the channel as well. We got 422 people currently tuning in and watching on from all around the world. Hit that thumbs up. Let's get up there to 200 likes. We really appreciate it. We got Lee, Jake, Gus. How you guys doing? Murphy, right? Jake Murphy, what's up? What's up? Track Racer 22 is in the building. Diet soda. You know we got to keep it healthy over here, right? We got to stay hydrated. Although I prefer water, we got to stay hydrated. JJ is in the building. Jeremiah Sanchez, what's going on? How you doing today? Are you seeing some good trades? Right? I hope so. Don Juan is in the building, another longtime supporter. Justin Jones. The amount of volume it has right now, I mean, it's decent. We're getting halted rather quickly, so time and volume kind of correlates, right? And if the candlesticks are closing before they should, then the volume isn't going to really be as much as it should be as well. So keep that in mind. But it does look pretty decent. But also we can say it's extended, right? The main thing right now is to have a plan, whether you're planning on trading it or if you're looking for a high entry, a low entry. The key is to have a plan and to have a risk in place. That way there are no surprises per se. We got Derek in the building. Earth Explorer, man. How you doing? How you doing? Where's KB? KB's MIA. Or KB maybe it's dialed in trading. JP, Lethal, Alimo, Ronald R. A long, long list. Till time. Let's not get distracted. What's that? 2242. Yeah, 2242. For those of you in MMU, how are you guys doing today? Right, let's see. If we have anybody that posted, Spartan looks like he had a couple of good trades so far. Most people wouldn't post until the like end of the session, 10:30, 11:30, so forth. Lucas saying he's red and is hesitating on everything. Does happen. So, the key is to just size down a bit and just focus on getting in, right? Getting in where you usually would be getting in, because we understand that fear, you know, or anxiety, whatever the emotion is, it alters the strategy, even if it's just a little bit. So focus on getting those entries and over time build that confidence back. And before you know it, you'll be right back on top. So 10 seconds, here we go, 10 seconds, INVO. Halted up at 249. I don't usually look at this, but let's see what it does. 75, 79, another quick halt up. Yeah, I don't usually watch all the way here, but still going. False halt. We got 58. Wow, that's a horrible entry. Great attempt though. I tried to buy 61. It's flying fast is the problem. I'm gonna try it again, but it might fail here potentially. Well, okay, it's gonna fail. 57. See, my share size though is so small that even if I'm caught there, it's not bad. So 57 false halt. It is so volatile. 87 for halt up. Unbelievable. This thing is crazy. The fluctuation though, man. Is it worth it? Halt up is at 87, halt down is at 57. The aggressive traders are still trading this thing aggressively. Best believe. Since when I don't consider myself an aggressive trader, but we got 61, the halt down at 57. Very close to the halt down here. But it seems like people are getting in. And there's 71. Is it going to continue? 75 and 80. 75. Can we see 80? 78. We want to see 80 out of this, even though it's a couple more cents. Can we see 80? 69, 68, 65. Back down a bit. It's a real consolidation at this point. The low is at 57. The only bad thing for the halt down is right there too, which makes buying this low tricky because we could halt down. And so there's a potential halt down. Will it get locked in? False halt. Nobody's buying. It might get locked in here. Oh, okay. It only had was that 30,000 or less, which is probably the lowest amount of shares we saw in a halt up or down today. I don't know. It could bounce, man. It could. It doesn't seem like the selling was like tremendous, but a little hard to tell. KB is in the building. The Bulls are out today. Let's go, man. Let's go. This would be the third pullback, which I do not like. Um, we can mark them out. So we had the first pullback here, second pullback, and now potentially the third pullback is going to happen. So I will not be touching it here. I'll stick to my rules. Even trying to buy up here was a little aggressive, but there was opportunity. So I'm gonna just ease off. This will be one of those days where I can walk away at the highs, which is rare for me. It always seems like I have to give back off the top before I stop. So, this could be the start of a good trend here. We were very accurate today as well, which is great. That always helps out. 30, 51. For those of you who are newer to the channel, right, if you are looking to get started with trading formally, be sure to check out the links down below, right? For the Merciless Markets University link, which is the day trading course that I offer here. From A to Z, from zero to advance. We don't guarantee any success because you can't guarantee anything in life. That's just how it is, unfortunately. But what we do say is that, and what we do teach is how to approach the market in a low risk way, right? And we go over all of our strategies here for this quick style of trading where we're in and out within seconds. It's a different type of style. Not everyone really trades like this. And primarily, we go over a lot of like breakout trading and like stocks going up. There are some dip entries, of course. So you guys can check it out if you're interested in that type of stuff, and that style of trading, this type of style, which is what most people are here for, anyways. But not everybody trades like this. Some of you guys are listening to me as you're trading options, and you can care less about this type of small cap stuff. Just a heads up. "30 seconds to resumption, assuming if it's a 5-minute halt." Again, I'm hands off. We're at 257. Here we go. A couple seconds. It's going to resume higher. Can we get halted up at 85? 84? Wow. Interesting. If it gets locked in here, this could be good. In which case, shorts can get caught off guard, thinking that was going to just sell off. It looks like it will get locked in. There's a lot of big buyers. If it gets locked in, I'll be interested. Oh yeah, I'm interested, all right. Short sellers are going to get caught off guard right there, so this is good. Ooh. They can be in trouble here. I mean, who would have thought, right? I mean, I'm thinking at least like a halt down like this or something, and then maybe even if it bounces a little bit, yeah. But this is good. For me, it's like a reset, right? Because it's like it's going against the trend. So I'm not gonna be super aggressive, like overly aggressive, but I'm looking forward to seeing what this wants to do here. This stock does get a little jumpy, so I want to keep that in mind. But you know, this could be good. It's honestly an area where I probably should have put out an order quickly. It like the moment I saw like 79, I should have been buying it. All right. So can we see $3? I mean, I think it's a possibility to get over three here. But if we resume higher, being that the price is getting a little bit more expensive, I'd hope the halt levels are also a little bit further apart. That way we have more room to, you know, maneuver, more range to trade. Showing 98. TPST. You know, I'm guessing some people probably just did extremely well in this stock, and then others probably had a hard time. I mean, the way how some of these red candles are, man. Good move back over to VWAP there. Brad, take it easy. Stay safe. Stay green. I will watch this resumption here. This could be interesting. The third pullback is usually a little weaker, more selling. So this is absolutely great to see a reversal like that from a halt down, halting up higher, pushing up again. If I'm short, you know, in this range, this is the last thing I want to see. If they're keeping tight stops, they're probably going to cover somewhere around three, maybe over the level of three. Some people their stops might be till at four, but those are, you know, the people with either incredible risk or maybe not so great risk management. $36.24. The cheapest way to get level two, well, what's that? Well, halt levels. The cheapest way to get halt levels will probably be to join MMU, if I'll be honest with you. We stream it there every day for all the top stocks. And you know, if you look at the math for MMU monthly, the yearly subscription is $7.97, right? Monthly is like $65 a month versus this 150. And then you get everything else too. If you want that. Or if you only want the halt levels, then you can have that too. Um but I don't know how much the level one is. Hold on, this resumption is coming up. 10 seconds. 284, what will it be? Here we go. Okay. Okay. All right. Time to ease off. That could have been bad. And this is the thing, man. It's, you know, looking so good. Kind of get a weaker drop there. And the halt up was a 305, which wasn't really great. It's too tight. False halt down. It's becoming too difficult. Price action here. Yeah. Back to not touching it. We're grateful to be out quick and not take on a bigger loss there. Yeah, so I'll spectate. Yeah, I was saying I'm not sure how much the level 1 is at DAS, but you can probably look into the website. If anything, you can maybe reach out to their customer service, which isn't bad. The tech support, if you want to go that option and see if it's cheaper. Also, make sure to check the agreement for level 1 to see if it includes the levels. There's 301 for halt up potentially, false halt. Let's trying again. Yeah, I mean, besides being in very low and just holding a position, I mean, this stuff is very difficult to capture, man. I can see myself like just, you know, the halt up is at 04. Will we see enough bids at the level to lock it in? There's 23,000 share buyers started off, adding to their positions. Right, 40,000. Somebody's gonna sell. That's gonna put us down to 77. Potential halt down. That's why it's hard to trade. It's like there's no in between there. Like all the prices in the middle just goes away. And now the selling here is tremendous. It's halting down. For me, it's like again, the logic for me is like, hey, we're halting down at first. It looks weak, but it halted up high, resumed higher, halted up. I'm thinking, yeah, this thing maybe wants to go to 350. But then I'm buying in this area, and then it's like dropping down, and it's just not easy. Wait, this is the old text. Okay. As the street cleaner is coming by. People really ought to stop littering. It's one of the bad things about living in a not good neighborhood. Like where I live is awful. I'm just gonna be very honest. This is like the what do they call it? The streets, the hoods, right? People just don't get it. They just, I think it's more so ignorance, right? In the sense of lack of understanding. People just don't really understand the significance of what they're doing. And I myself used to litter when I was younger, didn't know any better, just saw people doing it and was just ended up doing it myself. Until there was a field trip to the Poconos. And, there was like a group meeting at first, and one of the things they asked us is like, hey, do you guys see any trash anywhere here? And people were like, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, there's no trash anywhere here. How is that possible? Well, it's very simple. If you don't throw trash, there's not going to be any trash. You know, that day I was like, holy smokes. I never littered again. I was probably like maybe like 12 or something. a private MMU island. That would be great. But you go out there and it's like the truck comes, it sweeps the road, and then like I guarantee, like I can take a picture, right? Right now it's clean. You give it 3 hours. Somebody's gonna walk and they're gonna throw something again. And then when I forget to move my car, they charge me $60. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. No, no, we're paying for that. We're paying for this, all right. You kind of just have to, you just have to be somewhere good. I guess that's the only thing that's left. Sometimes it's hard to change a mindset. I spoke to a guy that was very sensible person, and I was explaining to him why he shouldn't litter. And it's like so many people are doing it that like if I stop, it's not gonna matter anyway. So I'm just gonna keep doing it. And this is someone who I would say is very smart, very intelligent. That particular thing was not intelligent of them to say, but it's like yeah, how do you fight this fight? There's probably people that was there on that field trip. The next day they probably still were littering. Anyhow, not to bring this conversation somewhere else where it shouldn't be. A fancy condo in Manhattan, man. I I wanted to live in Manhattan at one point, but I don't know if I ever would. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I will at some point. It depends. But the lifestyle there, it's very fast paced. There's a ton of stuff to do, but you definitely got to be, you know, you have to want that. As we have resumption here, but I think it's an awful place to raise a family, if you ask me. You might have some like dip buyers here, taking some trades here and there. Maybe there's a few people holding still from like 150, 160, 170. Maybe holding for like the entirety of the day. I am checking out of this stock. So the ranting probably will continue. Took one visit and changed my mind, dreaming of living in Manhattan. Oh man. New York is a great city. It's probably one of the best cities, but it has its problems for sure. It's also expensive, but that's kind of the price you pay of living in a. It is. I would say it is one of the best cities. It's famous, right? It's famous for a reason. It's also one of the wealthiest cities, and being that Wall Street is also there, the financial capital of the world. That's what they say. New York City. It's a beautiful city, but if you want to live there and live very comfortably, you for sure have to be making like 500,000 plus a year. And that's probably net. To like really like to really say you're living in New York City and being very, very comfortable. Some people they'll have like roommates, other things like that. If you're in a building, which more than likely you're going to be in a building, your building needs to have great amenities, maybe a nice view. EC, yeah, Puerto Rico, man. Um, it's something that I've considered before, and you don't need to be there the entire time. I think it's 6 months and 1 day. You need to actually physically be there, and there's probably a loophole around that, anyways. Because most of these people who are there to get this benefit, they're these big time entrepreneurs that are like always somewhere. Anyhows, it's definitely something to consider. You know, as good as it is to pay taxes and pay our fair share, on the other side of it, it's like they take a lot. You know, you make 100 grand, they take 30%. It's 30,000 gone. You're down to 70,000. And what's even worse about it is that okay, we can vote, but it seems like the systems that are in place are very fixed and rigid. And so whilst you can vote for different policies, certain things like never change, and you don't really have control of where your 30 grand is going. It's like the government can do whatever they want with it essentially. And we don't really always know and understand how the tax dollars are being spent and utilized. Sometimes we're not even in favor of what they do with it. I mean, I can tell you right now, I can go outside and show you guys 100 potholes, right? I mean, no, as we're still in this consolidation, potentially halting up here at 91. Like the Manhattan Bridge is awful. Like you guys ever drive over the Manhattan Bridge, man? They redid the center, which is good. Jeez. And then they take so long on some of these roads. I mean, I've seen roads get done in like 2 days, 3 days. Highways where they just get it done. And then some other areas, it's like it's taking them weeks to do the road. Like, is it the weather? Is it something else? Nah, I'm saying there's probably a loophole. What's interesting too is that a lot of the people who are making the laws are wealthy people, and they also want some sort of edge. And so they'll create the law, and have something there to help themselves. And I'm perfectly comfortable saying that because that's just what it is. Ultimately people are people, man. You can expect people to be people at any given point in time, whether it's now, in the past, in the future. You know, not everybody is like on that mindset of just being fair. You know, you look at the people here in this financial community here, this finance space of YouTube, and the people who are scamming. Like there's just gonna be people who they don't care about like putting in honest work. They'll put all that time into something that's not so great. You know, not saying that that's what all of government is doing or politicians are doing, the lawmakers, but definitely there's some things that goes down for sure, 100%. Things that we even know of, but nobody seems to do anything about either. Like I think this lady, I think her name was Nancy Pelosi, something like that. She's definitely somebody who, takes advantage of the position. Why are these people allowed to be able to trade? You know, it's beyond me. You work at certain companies, like for example, when you become a broker, right? It's why it's so good to like just have businesses. Like you become a broker, um, the amount of like hurdles you have to go through, you know, even when something as simple as working at like a financial institution, there's so many rules and laws that they have, that things you cannot do because it's quote unquote insider trading, right? But these people are trading left and right, and it's like, okay, cool, whatever, right? That's kind of like the notion, but it shouldn't happen. So why is it? It's not fair, right? But again, the people who are making the rules are having certain things in place to where they can bend the rules essentially, and then it's like they're winning. It's not really fair. So you ask yourself, what do you do, right? What do you do? So it's an interesting conversation, right? What do you do? What is right and what is wrong, right? What do you believe in as the individual? Crazy world. Even with like the newer conflict, let's not say new, but even with the recent conflict with like Israel and Palestine, this stuff is so complex and tricky. It's hard to handle. We definitely understand there's an issue over land, and on top of that, it's like, okay, can you get the violence to stop again, right? Can the violence stop? Can there be negotiation? And if there is negotiation, how does that work? How does that work? You know, you have one side that believes they deserve this, while the other side believes that they deserve that. How do you come to a compromise? Is it even possible? Part of compromising is understanding you're not going to get everything you want, but you're willing to accept some sort of a deal, where it's, let's say, fair for both sides. But, tricky stuff, man. I don't really, and I guess this is part of why this is part of why uh, these things probably do not change, is because it's uncomfortable to address, right? It's like it's a little uncomfortable to talk about it, but at the end of the day, like that's the only real way you get anywhere, right? You have to communicate. You got to sit down at the good old round table and draft up ideas and laws, rules, bills. Get something that makes sense. You have to worry about being canceled. That's a good point. That's a great point too, actually. I mean, it is the stuff is just, I don't know, man. There has been a few people that's lost a ton of like sponsorships and deals due to like speaking. It's essentially like, you have to be careful and not choose sides, quote unquote. Most of most of even myself, I have to be careful how I talk, but you know, it's just a lot of crazy stuff in this world, man. It's ridiculous. I don't think anybody, you know, who is not directly involved supports what's going on in terms of just, bloodshed. Nobody wants to see that stuff. When you watch those videos, it's terrible stuff, man. It's horrible. I've watched, I think all the documentaries on Netflix for like Iraq and Afghanistan. Like 21 days to back that, all these different things. There's one called Restripo. Like when you watch these things, you start to realize how crazy and brutal war is and really senseless, right? Like there's some sort of other interest that the common individual might not really know about. But whatever that might be, it's not worth the senseless violence that is happening to people, whether soldiers, civilians. It's truly horrific, horrendous, reprehensible. Yeah, BT. To be honest, when that issue with the Titan happened, I was careful to you know not say to the depths. It is true. It is very true. Yeah, I mean, there's things that kind of like there's a lot of sensitive topics, let's say, and you definitely have to be careful. I mean, even saying like to the depths in general. It's like for me, from my point of view, it's like, hey, a stock is like going down, selling off, and it's like, okay, Titanic, right? In the reference of something dropping, going down. But to somebody else, it's like, and we've had this conversation before, right? Somebody mentioned it before, where it's just like, hey, this could potentially be offensive to somebody else, you know? And a few years ago, 5, 10, 15, 20 years ago, it was very different then in terms of like how sensitive people would find certain things. I mean, if you go back, the videos probably don't even exist anymore because they had to probably take them down. But it was a very different time, let's say. you know are people more sensitive now, or is it just that there's more exposure now? What are people being more connected to the internet? I don't know what it really is, but certain things are definitely taken out of context for sure. you know Now, Earth Explorer, I'm done for the day, man. That's why we're just ranting like this. We're just talking current events and just, global stuff. I'm done for the day. Maybe I trade later into the day, but right now with this stock, unless something else really moves up that's getting called out aggressively, I have TD Ameritrade Thinkorswim connected to the DAS platform. Yeah, but those documentaries are brutal, man. Those documentaries are really insane. As Americans, right? America is supposedly the strongest and safest country right now when it comes to like an invasion. But can you imagine, being at home or at work and there's like troops marching down the streets and bombs being dropped Like, can you imagine that stuff? Most people wouldn't even be able to imagine it. It seems so far removed from what could be. But that's what's happening right now to other people. You know, as we live our sweet lives, other people are dealing with this type of like suffering is their reality today. You know, so can something be done to where there's a compromise, there's a fair deal, and brings peace? You know, not just for this week, this month, this year, but forever. You know, can there be a negotiation that br- brings about a good deal for both sides? Prop trader, are you not seeing the hot levels on DAS? If you can't see it, you might have to scroll down. What you could do is shorten the order book in terms of like the depth of the market makers, depending on depending on how your level 2 is configured and the amount of screen real estate it's taking up. You can play around with that to get it to where it shows some market depth, and then the halt level will be the very last line. That's how I have mine set up. Because before I'd have to scroll down a little bit, which kind of like is a little pointless because you want to be able to see it in the moment. Yeah, there's gonna always be different views, different viewpoints, and that's okay. But this part of the live stream is for ranting. This part of the live stream is for sure, without a doubt. This is where we just talk anything that kind of comes to mind, any and everything. Some days it'll be something else, other things. The relentless rants. But for sure, if somebody doesn't like want to hear this or want to keep it more trading related, I understand. If you have to shut us off, that's okay, right? Yeah, yeah. As I mentioned earlier, this type of stuff isn't really the easiest thing to talk about. Tesla being mentioned after the earnings and the sell-off. Tesla, man, down a good amount. We'll see how these FANG stocks does over the next couple of weeks and months, and more so years. You know, is tech going to continue to lead the way? Probably. Some of them will probably do better than others, though. And things are always subject to change, right? Trends do change, things come and go. But yeah, we're gonna shut it down soon. Um, we're gonna shut it down soon. There's not much going on, and it's also 11 a.m. But great trading today, good conversation there towards the end. And is there anything else moving? Probably not. Let's see. The scan seems to be a little dead for now. You know what would be nice is a day trading team house in Puerto Rico. And this and after this meetup next month, right? We're getting closer. It's almost that time actually. We're getting closer to the day trader conference, Trader for a Cause. So, you know, we'll see what happens, man. You know, I'm very optimistic. You know, the goal, the dream is to have a day trading team house. You know, I'm putting it out there, right? I'm putting it out there. It's not something that's going to be easy to get done, but where there's a will, there's a way. And it's very possible, it's highly likely, you know, but we'll see, man. And it doesn't have to be forever, of course, you know, but maybe a few months. A few months just to see how it goes would be nice. I think it'd be spectacular, really. But you know, we'll see. We will see. My mic is turned all the way up right now, but it is muffled. That's probably why it's so low. I've changed the settings a few months ago to eliminate background noise because this mic, you know, you guys might be able to recall it was much louder, but would also include every single thing in the neighborhood, every single conversation in this house, and all the screaming from my siblings who were home at the time more so than now. But yeah, the only thing, I mean, I don't want to change the settings in the mic because it's so good. It's pretty good. The only thing I'd recommend is, you know, turning me up just a little bit more on the whether it's the computer or television. Yeah, the street cleaner couldn't get picked up. Yeah, I know. It's been a complaint. Meet up in Asia. Over the years, we're probably gonna trade from everywhere, as long as it makes sense, you know. Over the years, as long as where we're going has good internet connection and the time zone is good and fair to the market time zone, you know, why not? Yeah, Discord doesn't have the the mute settings or deafening settings applied to it because I'm streaming from OBS. You know, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch should be noise reduced, right? Discord will be raw, right? Discord will be able to hear everything when my stomach is growling, all that good stuff. So this is a good place to shut it down. Final P&L on the day. We're just over 1K, so a pretty decent day. And we'll be back tomorrow morning, hopefully for an even better day in the markets. So if you hadn't hit that thumbs up already on YouTube, be sure to do so on the way out. And I'll catch you guys in the recap, and then again tomorrow morning, bright and early, 9:10 a.m. Today we were late. Tomorrow we'll be on time. Hopefully, whenever I'm not on time, the bathroom is calling my name. It's just what it is. It cannot be helped. It's just part of the deal. So take care, stay safe, stay green.